Hey guys, Captain Dylan Hubbard here at Hubbard's Marina with another live stream show starting now. Thanks for tuning in and joining us tonight on another live stream show. It is Sunday night, 8:30 p.m. on Sunday, September 4th, and we're getting ready for that live stream show, the Off the Hook with Captain Hubbard. Hopefully you guys are ready for a great show tonight. We got some cool photos to show you, some stuff to talk about, some fishing reports, some weather, and more. And, of course, going to answer your questions live during the show and give away plenty of free stuff. So sit right back and grab a drink, and let's get into this live stream show. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for joining us. Don't forget to give the video a like for us. If you're watching on Facebook, give it a like. Instagram, double tap. On YouTube, give it a thumbs up. Trovo, Twitch, make sure you like and subscribe. We really, really appreciate it, guys. Every like, every comment, every share helps us to reach more people. So whenever you see anything posted from Hubbard's Marina, and you're scrolling through your timeline, always make sure, guys, to give it a like, give it a double tap, shoot a comment, give me a little emoji thumbs up. It doesn't matter. It really helps our algorithm in the social media world to reach more people. So every time you see something posted from Hubbard's Marina, especially the live show, make sure to give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and make sure you share it if possible. Like and comment, two most important social signals, if you will. So please help us out, guys, and that really helps spread the word of our show. Plus, you won't miss things because all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, it doesn't matter. You'll stop seeing stuff from us. You will stop seeing our posts completely unless you interact with them. So you've got to make sure that when you see posts, give them a like, give them a thumbs up, and don't forget to comment. That really, really helps everybody. And it makes sure you don't miss anything. So you don't want to miss something, especially some big news. Also, want to give a special shout out to our friends over at Gator Jim's Tackle. This show is brought to you by our good friends over there at Gator Jim's Tackle, 3301 Pinellas Point Drive South in St. Petersburg. Check them out, Gator Gyms. If you haven't gotten over there already, you're missing out. Huge selection, killer deals. They got it all at Gator Gyms Tackle. So check them out. Tell them Hubbard's Marina sent you. We'd really appreciate it. And also, want to give a shout out to those of you who are sending stars. Saw you, Kimmy Baker, Stephen Batchelor, Craig Robinson, Jason Richmond, Stephen Curley, Rick Rogers, Richard Blazack, Scott Flynn, Tegwin Stockdale, Tegwin, and also Jim Evans, Dana and Rich Fletcher, Terry Feather, Leslie Perucci, and Richard Fonzio, and then just saw D. Beers as well. Super appreciated. Those stars are a way for those watching on Facebook to show their support, and it really, really helps to kind of help us fuel the show and do more cool things with the show. Tony Barnes, appreciate those 400 stars. And Renee Shoalwater as well. Thanks for tuning in. And Mike Mahoney, I'm glad you could pull out your phone in your prison work release there to join us too. Mike Mahoney from TA Mahoney's always got the jokes. He's been on a Live, Love, Laugh tour for the last month and a half. So it's good to see you back at work now that you've taken a month off from work. So whenever you guys hear how hard he works, he's pretty much full of it, guys. So if you ever stop into TA Mahoney's, just know that the owner is completely full of it. All right. Getting into some photo. Oh, before we get into the photos, guys, don't forget to comment. Tell us where you're watching from. Don't forget to like the video again. Super appreciative. Share it on your favorite fishing club. It helps us out a lot. If you want to win free trips tonight, guys, make sure you comment at least one time. You have to comment on the Hubbard's Marina live stream on Facebook. So go over to facebook.com, find the Hubbard's Marina page, like our page, find the video, like the video, and then comment one time. You're entered for a chance to win. Then you have to watch the show live in order to win, because if you're picked as the lucky winner, you got 5 minutes or less to claim it by texting that phone number in the bottom middle of the screen there. So you got to text our main office number, your full home address, within about 5 minutes to claim that free trip. So make sure you do it and make sure you watch live. So let's get into the photos and we'll show you guys what we are catching, what we're catching. So we're catching some nice flounder inshore right now. We're seeing some solid flounder action around the bay. Definitely seeing some big boys on those sandy drop-offs, those edges. The best place to find the flounder are areas where they can lay on the bottom and ambush passing bait. So like a little cut in the grass flat, a little pothole, a little ledge where you have a tide rushing across a flat and dropping off into deeper sandy water. That's the area you're going to find those flounder. The down tide side of a nice dock holding some good bait is another good area to find the flounder too. And I cannot switch photos there, Josh. Just give me a click on the screen. There we go. Also, snapper, the mangrove snapper in the bay have been thick. We're kind of that time of year now where we're starting to see the fact that the water's starting to warm up. Because the water's warming up, that means we're seeing a lot less of those mangrove snapper. The concentrations of mangrove snapper are starting to wean off. We're seeing that around the dock already. So definitely get out there and get your opportunity at good inshore mangrove snapper fishing, because now is the time. As those days start to get shorter, water starts to cool off, we're going to see the mangrove snapper start to spread out on us quite a bit. So get your opportunity for some thick inshore mangrove snapper around those Bay Area bridges and rock piles of Tampa Bay. You don't want to miss out. The redfish are starting to school up. We're seeing more and more schools of redfish around Tampa Bay, and they're starting to get close together for their fall run offshore for some spawning. So great time of year where we see a lot of those redfish get together in high concentrations on the flats. Michael, Jimmy, appreciate those 1,500 stars. Hopefully you and your family are doing well. Jeff Reedy, appreciate your stars as well with 550. Thanks, Jeff Reedy. Brian Eakins, what's up, buddy? Thanks for the stars. Lots of redfish lately. Soft plastics working well. Also, those white bait, even live shrimp are good options. The redfish bite is hot all around Tampa Bay right now. Seeing them mostly in the flats, the mangrove shoreline, some dock lines too. We're not seeing a lot of redfish in Johns Pass right now, but definitely back bay areas, mangrove shorelines, grass flats, oyster bars, all loaded down with the redfish. Trout action is kind of hit or miss. We're seeing them on those edges, those potholes, those cuts. Really deeper flats is the best place to target those trout right now. But as you can see, it's been redfish, and more redfish. The snook are still pretty stacked in Johns Pass and other passes too. We're still seeing a lot of snook caught out on the beaches during the day. At night, snook in the passes are still pretty thick, but they are already starting to thin out quite a bit. We're starting to see a lot of those snook move back into those staging areas as they make their way back to their wintertime haunts. A lot of snook moving around the area right now. September 1st, snook season opened up in Tampa Bay, and it's like the snook knew. They just disappeared. We had a guy fishing the dock today, caught some nice snook, hooked some nice snook, was unable to land them, but most of them were pretty large and out of slot anyway. But right now, I would say inside Johns Pass, your best bet is targeting those snook at night, early morning, prior to sunrise. during the day. The mangrove snapper are easy to catch, and they're plentiful still. There's still a few sheepshead around, and you never know, you might get one of those snook during the day, but they are definitely more tricky, and will only get more and more tricky as time progresses. So let's work our way near shore and offshore and show you guys what we're catching a little deeper. Amberjack season is open, and the amberjack are fired up. We're catching some nice amberjack out there in deeper water. This 39-hour trip that came in today, unfortunately, didn't get as many amberjack as we would like. We would have liked to get a lot more, but we had quite a decent number of people interested in going on a Friday 39-hour trip. It was our last Friday 39-hour before dry dock, so we had a lot of people going out, and couldn't go quite as deep as we would like. We ran into some current and some stronger current and a high number of anglers on the boat. We didn't want to venture out there into deeper water. But Tuesday, we've got a 39-hour with only 26 people on it. So super light 39-hour. Captain Garrett's pumped. He's going to go out to deep, deep water. We're going to catch us a bunch of these amberjack Tuesday on that super light 39-hour. Then we've got a 44-hour the following Friday. That's this Friday coming up, basically 5 days from now. And Captain Brian's excited about that. Plenty of extra running time to get out deeper and catch some really nice amberjack on that 44-hour. Only 35 people booked for that. We're also still seeing some nice red grouper, as you can see. Unfortunately, the red grouper are closed. So we're targeting those gag grouper mangroves, and we're seeing a lot of these yellowtail. Here's a weird-looking yellowtail from, can you zoom in a little bit, Josh? Here's a weird-looking yellowtail from the 10-hour trip. Kind of had a little bit of a back problem on this yellowtail. It was a weird one, but we're seeing some good-sized yellowtails in pretty high concentrations offshore and deeper water. This was right before red grouper closed on the hub. The hub is getting some nice gags, as you can see from the photo, and we were seeing plentiful red grouper. Now we're switching gears. Now that red grouper's closed, we had a few half-day trips on the hub where they really targeted those hogfish. Then we had a couple longer trips on the hub where we targeted some unique species, and this one's a unique species. Josh, can you blow that up a little bit for us? Those are permit. So they caught a good number of permit on the hub the other day. So now we're targeting those gag grouper, those mangrove snapper, lane snapper. But in order to get some bigger fish, we're kind of mixing it up a little bit, trying some shark fishing, Goliath grouper fishing. We could try to target some permit, go after those gags out in deeper water. So we're seeing some cool fish right now, and those permit will be around for a little while longer. Definitely a private fishing charter target species. We don't really see these type of fish on a party boat. They're kind of a little too skittish, but it was pretty cool to see, especially young anglers. And this family has actually been privately chartering the hub. They come into town and they do 2 12-hour trips with us on the hub while they're in town for like a week. And she was just maybe 6 months old the first time she came out. And now it's awesome watching her grow up. And she is a fishing fool. She is good at it too. So pretty cool to see some nice solid permit near shore. So that's pretty unique for us at Hubbard's Marina with our big fishing boats. We got lots of options for you. The private charters are more available now. The loads are lighter. Like I said, this Tuesday, we've got 26 on that 39-hour trip. The 10-hour all day on Tuesday has like 24 people on it. We're running half days with 25, 40 people. So super light loads during the week. This weekend, Labor Day weekend, it was busier for sure, but we still only had 40 people on today's 10-hour trip on a holiday weekend. So you can see it is lighter loads around right now. Definitely a good opportunity to get out there and enjoy a little bit more elbow room and a good opportunity to hopefully catch plenty of fish. We're going to give away our first free trip of the night Then we're going to do some announcements and talk about the weather quickly, and then we'll get into your questions. Remember, if you do have a question you want answered live during the show, you got to text us at that phone number your question. Renee Showalter, appreciate those. Renee, appreciate those 1,200 stars. Thank you so much. All right, let's see who won our first free trip of the night. We're going to give away a 5-hour half day for 2 guests. 5-hour half day for 2 guests goes to Tracy Jones. Congratulations, Tracy from Southern Illinois. You just won a $150 value, 2 5-hour half-day trips from us to you. You got 5 minutes or less to claim those free trips by texting us your full home address to that phone number below. We still got a 10-hour all-day trip for 2 guests and a 39-hour trip to give away tonight as well. Plus, our good friends over at salinitygear.com always supply us with their Salinity Gear gift pack. So you could win the Salinity Gear gift pack, a 10-hour all day or a 39-hour still as well. Make sure you like the video, comment once, share it on your favorite fishing club. Make sure you like our page, and stay tuned. We got more show to go. So let's see. What's some announcements before we get into the weather and your questions? Want to make sure we remind everybody we got lots of fishing conversation events coming up. Tuesday, September 13th, we've got our 7 p.m. Old Salts fishing conversation at Krabby's on the Pass. So September 13th, Tuesday, 7 p.m., Krabby's on the Pass, right inside John's Pass. Old Salts Fishing Club, it's open to the public, 7 p.m. We're starting that fishing conversation, so we hope to see you for that event. Sunday, September 18th, Bass Pro put us on last-minute notice that they need us September 18th, so kind of short notice for those Bass Pro Shops conversations. Normally we have a month or more notice on those events, but unfortunately this go around we do not. So September 18th, 2 p.m. is our next Bass Pro Shops fishing conversation. So don't forget to join us for that. And then also October 11th at 6 p.m. we've got our Bartow Ford Real Animals fishing conversation. That's October 11th. At 6 p.m. November 1st, we've got our Florida Guides Association annual meeting. Make sure you join that if you're a guide, or tell your guide friend about it. And then January 11th, we've got our O'Brien's Fishing Club meeting at 7 p.m. So that's O'Brien's Pub in Brandon. So multiple fishing conversations coming up. We do them monthly at Bass Pro Shops. So definitely join us. The 2 coming up, September 13th, Krabby's on the Pass. That's not this Tuesday, next Tuesday, at Krabby's on the Pass, inside John's Pass, 7 p.m. with Old Salts. Then Sunday, September 18th at Bass Pro Shops, Tampa. Hopefully we'll see you for that. Also, I want to give a big thank you to Tim Dykes with those 600 stars. Thank you, Tim. Really appreciate that. And super happy with all the star senders, guys. Big way to show support. Really appreciate all of you guys. Besides the events, we do have some new tackle in our shop. We've been working really hard on our online store. So we have brand new online store look. If you haven't seen it already, here it is. If you go to hubbardsmarina.com and click shop and then Marina store, you'll get taken over right here to our new online store look. We've got a ton of slow pitch jigging stuff, rods and reels, tackle and tools, hooks, lures, tools. Our D-hookers are back in stock. Those special D-hookers that we know and love are the hook extractors. We're the only shop in the world with those hook extractors. So definitely check out, it's under tools at the top there, Josh. Yeah, so right there, the hook extractor, made in the USA, all stainless steel, high quality material, extremely, extremely awesome product. It will highly increase your efficiency and the amount of time your bait is on the bottom. The more your bait is on the bottom, the more opportunities to catch more fish. Plus, you're saving a lot of fish, and you're getting them back in the water quicker, which is going to increase the likelihood of their survival. So it's better for the fish. It's better for you. It's really a win-win to make sure you have your hook extractors when you go fishing. Plus, we've got new octopus jigs, those Invader jigs. I got to fish with them this past week on that slow pitch jigging trip, and they crushed the grouper. So super happy with those octopus jigs, and definitely going to explore more and more with those Invader octopus jigs. We got a huge selection of them in anywhere from 9 ounces all the way down to 30 grams. So really, really cool octopus jigs called Invader jigs by Mustad. John Bull, appreciate those 200 stars. And then speaking of new retail, we have a full line of the custom rods from Fletcher's Custom Rods in our shop now, from 15-pound all the way to 100-pound class rods. So now we've got the Bull Bay rods and a full line of Fletcher's custom rods. The Bull Bays, we only had 3 options, 20 to 40, 30 to 80, 50 to 100. In the Fletcher's custom rods, we've got 5 different options, and they look a little bit different, a little bit more aggressive, and they're pretty cool. So come check out the full selection of custom rods that we carry in our shop at Hubbard's Marina. And all these rods were custom made for us for bottom fishing offshore. These aren't production runs. These are custom Hubbard's Marina rods built specifically for the type of fishing we do. So really, really cool bottom fishing setups. If you're looking for a new rod, come by our shop and see them. Our online store, you can check out everything, but you can't buy rods on our online store because we don't ship rods. But you can come get one of the rods in person and pick it up. We do have the Bull Bay rods, which, like you said, Capt Mike Anderson is a part owner of the company. They are bulletproof. They do have a lifetime warranty on those Bull Bay rods, so you can't really beat that. But that is a full-blown company, large-scale company. They're in West Marines now. They're really expanding and growing quickly, which is awesome. But we like supporting small business too, and Fletcher's Custom Rod is a one-man show. He's really putting a lot of effort into it. Now his family's starting to help him a little bit too. So we like supporting small operations too, and he does really great work. So we wanted to bring him in the shop as well. We're not replacing or getting rid of Bull Bay, but we now carry both, giving you a little bit more selection and options. And the Fletcher's Custom Rods just gave us a little bit more flexibility to do some cool stuff and make them look a little bit more aggressive. So come in, check them out, see what you like. Also, don't forget, we wanted to make sure that we talked about the weather. Weather is looking stellar. Right now, if you pop over to our website, hubbardsmarina.com, click info or fishing trips, and you can find the weather links page. And on our weather links page, you can find the wind finder forecast, the NOAA forecast. I always like starting on the 5 and 10 hour forecast on wind finder. And you can see from that graph up top, lots of dark blues, which we like to see. Very moderate winds all the way through the week, virtually. The weekend, it'll get a little bit more breezy. As you can see there, September 10th, as we scroll down here, scrolling through the week. Nice moderate winds, and not a crazy amount of rain. Friday, it starts to pick up a little bit windy, but as we move into Saturday and Sunday, it picks up a little bit more wind-wise. But this is really driven by some of that tropical weather that has been fluctuating quite a bit. They were forecasting a pretty strong weekend of wind and weather, and now it's dropped down. Last time I looked at it a day ago, it was totally calm through this upcoming weekend. Now it's starting to elevate a little bit as that storm Danielle increases in intensity. But it's going to miss our area, but it's going to drag past us and create some upper level disturbances for sure. So that weekend higher wind forecast is driven by that tropical disturbance, which can obviously change drastically. So we're not so concerned about that weekend weather because it can, like I said, change quite a bit. So as we scroll down here, we'll pop over to Mike's weather page, and right on our weather page at the bottom is Mike's weather page link. I like popping over here to his kind of toolbar in the upper left-hand corner, and using the Tropical Tidbits website is a great way to kind of quickly look at some of these forecast models. And I always just come down here and click regions and then change over to the North Atlantic so you can kind of see the whole thing is what's going on. The GFS model goes way out into the future, and it's kind of useless after like 5 to 7 days. But this is what's causing that weekend weather. That high pressure, this storm, counterclockwise rotation is going to be sucking this low pressure up behind it. And that's what's going to be causing that south wind over September 9th and 10th. And that can change drastically through the week. But you can also see the amount of moisture over our state. I'll scroll down a little bit. And Josh, can you just right arrow a little bit for me? You just click the right arrow on your keyboard. Yeah. You can see through the next iterations as Josh keeps clicking that amount of green moisture over the state of Florida through like September 7th through September 10th. And that's all the moisture being pulled up into that storm. And that storm right there is Danielle. And it's going to get out of our area. These nice high pressures are cushioning us. And I don't want to get too in-depth into it because I can totally weather nerd out for 20 minutes. But long story short, Danielle's leaving our area. We had these high pressures steer that storm away from us, which is great. But the bad part is as Danielle pulls out of the area, it's going to pull with it all the moisture of the Gulf. And unfortunately, Florida's stuck between the Gulf and the storm. So it's definitely going to be a little bit more of a tropically moist second half of the upcoming week and weekend. So a lot of people are like, oh, hurricane season's over and we haven't had a hurricane season. You guys got to remember the peak of hurricane season is mid-September. So yes, we haven't had any real situations to worry about in Florida or the Gulf, but we are long way from being out of the woods, folks. We are just about at the halfway point of hurricane season. We're not even to the peak of season. So the month of October has shown extremely strong storms historically. So don't dismiss the tropical threat. You can for the next 10 days. Luckily, everything right now is trending good for us, but definitely keep an eye on the weather. Right now, next 5 days looks great. So definitely get an opportunity to get out there on the water and go fishing. So we talked about the weather. We did our announcements. Let's get into some of your questions. Make sure if you want one of your questions answered, you got to text us at that phone number, your full question. And if you're picked as a lucky winner, your full home address. Francine Brenton, appreciate those stars. How shallow can we find keeper gag grouper? You can find keeper gag grouper as shallow as 30 foot of water in areas. As shallow as 8 foot of water if you know where to look in Tampa Bay. But majority of the time, to go out and run a trip with a good number of anglers on one of our larger boats, we're starting 140 foot with good confidence at catching a bunch of good keeper-sized gag grouper, but definitely deeper water this time of year. Water's warm, gags are out deep. A majority of gags are out deep, I should say. As those cold fronts start, early October, mid-October-ish, that's when a lot of those gag grouper will start to move back inshore. Once those cold fronts start rolling through, the Gulf starts getting turned up, the water starts chilling out, those gags get on the move. So we'll see that early to mid-October start and really kind of reach its peak around mid to late November. Mid to late November through the end of the year is always kind of prime time gag grouper fishing. And this is the last year that you're going to have that option for probably a good number of years. Remember, 2023 gag grouper season is going to be September 1st through November 10th. So the prime time where the highest number of gag grouper are landed is not going to be open for gag grouper harvest next year. So get out there this year, book your trip. They're going to fill fast. We're going to have a lot of demand. November through December is really prime time for those gag grouper. But we get a lot of big ones even in September and October as long as we're fishing deeper on our 12-hour stream, 39-hour trips, 44-hour trips. You still got a good shot at those big gags in deeper water. And we carry up to 50 people. To answer your other question, on a 39-hour trip, the boat's licensed for 120. We have 78 rod holders. We allow up to 50 on a 39-hour trip. But this time of year, for the most part, it's lighter loads. But as we move into that November, December time frame, again, this is the last opportunity to fish mid to late November or all of December for gags for a few years. So I have a feeling those trips are going to get really, really popular. So book early for sure. What's the best time to fish? When the barometer is rising or dropping? So the general rule of thumb is a falling barometer is the best fishing opportunity, while the rising barometer is still good, but not as good as a falling barometer. So in my opinion, as long as the barometer is moving, you're good. A static high or a static low barometer is typically not so great for fishing. Yukimi Barker, appreciate those stars. Thank you. But remember, barometric pressure is only one of 20 variables that'll dictate whether or not a fish is going to bite. So don't get too hung up on, oh, the barometer is rising or the barometer is static. I'm not going fishing. The bite's not going to be good. Because remember, there's moon phase, there's water temperature, there's salinity, there's currents, there's thermocline, there's chlorophyll, there's a variety of turbidity. There's a lot of different options and variables that could dictate whether or not the fish are going to cooperate on that day. So my general kind of rule of thumb consensus is go fishing, and then when you get home, look at the variables and see what happened. Oh, well, it was a static barometer, but the moon was doing this. And then as over time, you'll kind of learn what you like and what you've had good experience with. But as a charter captain, as a fishing business owner, we don't have the option or the luxury of picking and choosing the best days to go fishing. We go fishing every day. And over time, we kind of learn trends of, hey, this works well. Hey, this doesn't work well. But you're always going to be surprised. And we get surprised every couple weeks. You'll be fishing right on a full moon, right the day of a full moon. It's like, oh, the daytime bite's going to stink today. It's a full moon. And then you'll go out there and you'll do really well. Or you'll be fishing right behind a cold front. The water's all stirred up and dirty. And you're like, fish aren't going to chew today. The water's too dirty. It's too turbid. You go out there and all of a sudden you catch a lot of fish. So you don't really want to get too hung up on the variables because you'll just end up not fishing as much as you could or should. And if you're waiting for a day that you can take off of work, you can have someone watch your kids, and all the variables line up, you're never, ever going to get out in the water. So plan a day, get your kids taken care of, get the work situated, and go fishing. And if the variables line up and you catch a bunch of fish, that's even better. But trying new things, I think tougher days of fishing are even more enjoyable now because it gives you the opportunity to try new things and try to entice those fish to chew. And that's what's cool about slow pitch jig fishing is you're not going out there to fill a fish box full of fish and meat fish and catch them as fast as you can. You're trying to fool a fish into eating this 9-ounce piece of lead, and you're fooling them with the technique and the feel for the rod, the feel for the jig, the presentation of the jig. It's pretty fun, and it's a little bit more of a technique or an art, and you're a little bit more in contact with it, and it's always fun to just feel a fish bite. And like if I'm normally fishing with baits on a trip and I want to catch them really fast, I catch a red snapper, I get frustrated. It's a red snapper. You're slow pitch jig fishing and you catch a red snapper out of season, you're like, oh yeah, I got a big one on here. It's a ton of fun. They pull hard, they fight hard to that little rod. It's a blast. So it just makes fishing a little bit more interesting. And that's why I think slower days are cool, because you're trying lighter tackle, you're trying a different jig, you're trying a different style of hooking the bait, you're trying different techniques, drift fishing, anchor fishing. You're might be trying to do some chumming. You're doing different things that learn or that teach you how to overcome that slower fishing, and it makes you a better angler all the way around. Richard Blasak, appreciate those 500 stars. Thank you, buddy. Any Christmas gift suggestions for the fisherman? Gift certificates are an easy one, ladies. You can always buy a gift certificate to us at Hubbard's Marina. Just remember, all gift certificate sales are final, and they are only good for up to 1 year from the purchase date. Or you could come into the shop, and we could set you up with one of those Bull Bay rods or the Fletcher's custom rods or a reel. Or we can set you up with some slow pitch jigs. We can help you choose the right rod and reel, or the right reel, or the right tackle for your other half, your fisherwoman or fisherman in your life. But that always gets people in trouble too, because the wife comes in to buy something for the husband, or the husband comes in to buy something for the wife, and they're like, "These cost how much? How much have they been spending?" So I don't recommend sending your other half to buy you a rod and reel unless they're already familiar. If you've been fudging the truth, you don't want to send them to look for you. Louis Canaveri, appreciate those stars. Thank you so much. I joined a little late to the show. Did you already discuss the pelican or pier issue? No, I did not, and I actually forgot to bring that up. So appreciate the reminder and the prompt there. I'm going to drop into the Facebook chat, and Josh will copy and paste it over to the YouTube chat for me, that link to the new podcast that we did with Salt Strong. Super, super cool opportunity to talk to the guys over at Salt Strong and use their very large megaphone to hopefully reach a bunch of people about this issue. And basically what's going on right now is there's discussions, and really powerful people are considering completely closing fishing access at multiple different super popular shore-based fishing opportunities, or shore-based fishing access points, like the Skyway Fishing Pier, the Dunedin Causeway, the Gulf Pier at Fort DeSoto. A lot of different really popular shore-based fishing access points. And if you know, if you are fishing from the shore, You know more than anybody that there's not very many places that you can do that from. A lot of bridges have already been no fishing. A lot of piers are already starting to restrict fishing. So it really concerns me that this bird issue is potentially going to close fishing areas even more. They're talking about potentially closing the Skyway fishing piers, which would just be absolutely crazy. So many people fish out there. That's a huge fishing destination for people all over the state. It would be really sad to see that happen. But the idea or the reason behind it is the bird entanglement issues. When someone hooks a pelican or accidentally entangles with the seabird, you cannot panic. You have to reel in that bird just like it was a prize trophy fish. You have to get the hook out of it. You can't just cut the line. And what's so frustrating, and what happens more often than you know, is people will hook a bird, freak out, free spool it, let the bird swim or fly out with 150 yards of monofilament, or even worse, braid, and then cut the line at the reel or at the rod tip. Now this bird is flying away with fishing line hanging behind it, and what does it do? It goes back to the mangrove shoreline and lands to sleep or eat or take care of its young. The fishing line gets hung in a branch or a tree branch or anything, and then all of a sudden it can't fly away. Now it can't feed itself, it can't take care of its young, and it dies a very slow, very painful death. And our dolphin boat rescues like 2 or 3 birds a week that are tangled in fishing line at those mangrove shorelines around Johns Pass. And we rescue probably 2 or 3 birds a week at the dock that we see swimming with fishing line or fishing lures or fishing hooks dangling from the birds. And we see even, not as many, but we do see floating dead pelicans go by the dock quite a bit entangled in fishing lines. So it's definitely a big situation and a big issue, and it's getting worse. And more people are out there on the water fishing, which is awesome. Love that. But you really have to take a commonsensical, ethical approach when you're out in the water. And if you hook wildlife, whether it be a fish, a bird, whatever, get the hook out of it. Don't just cut the line and let the animal suffer. Same thing with the fish. If you hook a fish, you're not just going to cut the line and let the fish swim away with a bunch of line hanging off of it. I mean, sometimes they break you off, but they break you off in a rock and they have this much line hanging out of them, and they're underwater and under salt water, and that hook rusts out in just a week's time, and it's not as big of an issue for a fish. Whereas a bird, 10, 15, 20 feet, 100 feet of line is a death sentence for that bird. And it's not only pelicans. We see it with other birds. We've seen it with ospreys before. We rescued an osprey entangled with fishing line in the not so distant past. So really, really, really crazy issue that we want to make sure we continue to hammer. And you guys sitting there, and I've seen some comments like, oh yeah, you got to reel it in, you got to be commonsensical. Not everybody is, and not everybody knows what to do. So that's the idea with that podcast. So help us spread the word, spread that link, and share the information, because you as anglers, especially anglers interested in enough to sit here and watch the show, you as anglers have to do the best you can to hopefully get other people to then go out there and do the best they can. And the more we outreach and educate our fellow anglers, the bigger opportunity we'll have to say, no, don't close this fishing pier. We're going to help each other, and we're going to make sure these birds aren't dying from this entanglement issue. So definitely make sure we work together, educate our fellow angler. If you're out there fishing, you see someone hook a bird, drop what you're doing and go help them. Don't let them cut the line, guys. We gotta work together here. So thanks for bringing that up. It's time to give away another free thing. Let's give away our Salinity Gear gift pack. Now you're going to win a Salinity Gear shirt, either hooded or not hooded. This is a long sleeve performance wear fishing shirt, and it comes in a gift pack. So they send you some stickers, some other things. They might throw in a hat, who knows? But you get a shirt for sure, and then some other assorted gifts from Salinity Gear. So if you're picked as a lucky winner, you got to not only text us your full home address, but you got to tell us your t-shirt size and whether you want it hooded or not hooded in your performance wear shirt. So let's find out who won the Salinity Gear gift pack. Again, salinitygear.com. Great company, great local company. They make a ton of our products at Hubbard's Marina. Shirt I'm wearing right now is made by Salinity Gear. Good people over there at Salinity. And congratulations, Lisa Morris from Keystone Heights, Florida, on your lucky win of the Salinity Gear gift pack. Make sure you claim it. You got 5 minutes or less to claim it by texting us your full home address, your t-shirt size, and whether you want it hooded or not hooded. We still got a 10-hour all day to give away and a 39-hour. Let's get into some more questions. What is the 4 and 8 stands for on the Friendly Fisherman? I have.
It's regards to the layout. 4 and 8, the boxes.
Oh, it used to mean something. It doesn't mean anything anymore. So ignore that. The boxes were captain's guest spots back in the day where we didn't have those numbers bookable, but that was when we did 12-hour trips on the party boats and no longer applicable. Should probably update that. Note to self. Note to Josh.
Yeah, I'm writing it down.
Are you catching any tuna? Yes, we caught a blackfin tuna Monday on our slow pitch jigging trip. We see them year-round. Just sometimes we'll see them, sometimes we won't on our long-range trips. Most commonly in the cooler months, but we see them summer, spring, fall. We see them year-round. The blackfin tuna just kind of come and go with changing water temperature, water clarity. There's really no rhyme or reason. Sometimes they'll be around, sometimes they won't. We see the kingfish and mackerel spring and fall mostly, but some hang through the summer. We catch kingfish even in the cooler months too, but mostly spring and fall, little in the summer and a few in the winter. Wahoo, almost year-round as well. Some of our biggest wahoo have come in cooler months, but typically spring and fall on the wahoo or through the summer if you're out super deep. That's kind of our pelagic rundown, if you will. Let's see who has got the next question here. Will the weather affect the Sunday 11th 12-hour extreme trip? No telling. The weather is really only usable or worth a darn just 3 to 5 days out. Really just 3 days out is what I trust. Right now, the weather doesn't look bad enough to cancel any trips over the weekend, but it's been fluctuating. It was really bad 3 or 4 days ago. Then it was beautiful. Now it's starting to creep back up, but it's early, so it's hard to tell. And yes, you can bring GoPros out with us. We just would rather you didn't, but you can use our GoPro. You can use our digital camera, or you can bring your own as long as you don't mind us messing with it before and after your trip. Have you considered doing a one-time special 50 to 60-hour trip? We used to do 72-hour trips. We've done 63-hour trips. Right now, with how busy our vessels are and the amount of fish that we're able to catch on a 39 and 44-hour, I don't really see the need to do longer trips. Plus, if we do more than a 44-hour trip, we have to cancel so many other trips. It really makes it not so financially sound as a company to offer longer trips. And if we do, we have to charge so much money for them. It really doesn't make sense. Plus, you can only ever get a 2-day bag limit. So on a 44-hour trip, we already have 20 hours of fishing time. You can only catch so many fish. You can only take home so many fish. So I just don't really see the need for running longer trips unless we're going somewhere unique. But we already go really cool places and catch really cool fish. There's some other areas we'd love to fish, but other boats do that are closer to those areas and can offer it for less money than if we were to run up there or run down there. So it just doesn't really make sense for us as a company right now. In the future, as we add boats to the fleet, we have a little bit more flexibility in our schedule. We might be doing some of that stuff, but I really see the writing on the wall when it comes to that deep water stuff, the deep drop stuff. I hate to be the canary in the coal mine, but that is not long for this world. The deeper you go, the slower things grow. So like a mangrove snapper, they can grow really, really fast. A mahi-mahi lives at the surface of the water. They're the fastest growing species. All pelagic fish are really fast growing. Those super deep water benthic reef fish, like a snowy grouper, it takes years for them to get big. And there's a lot of people out there fishing really, really hard in deep water, and they're selling a ton of 37, 42-foot Freemans, and everybody and their brother has a Contender Intrepid yellowfin running out there with their little trolling motors and their strike lines charts, Seymour Maps charts, destroying the Sunshine wreck and all those other well-known wrecks now that we've been fishing for 25 years. And, it's just not long for this world. So I really don't see the need to build that side of our business. And that's kind of why we stepped back from it as well, is it's not going to be pretty. We already saw midwater snappers close last year. It's not going to be long before we see that deep water grouper complex start getting really, really controlled, especially as they get more science on it. But you didn't hear that from me. We would like to borrow a GoPro on our 39-hour trip. What are your options for using the cameras? Head mount, chest mount, clamp? Yes. We've got 7 GoPro 10s and 3 GoPro 8s. And we've got head mounts, chest mounts, clamps, sticks, booms, stickers. We've got every GoPro possible component you could want. And you can use it completely free. We just got to get all your content and send it to you. Or you can download it straight from our website now. I don't know if you've seen this. I guess we'll show you again because it's really, really cool. I've always wanted to have this, and now we do. If you go to hubbardsmarina.com, click fishing trips, or if you click info, right now Joss is going to show you under the fishing trips tab, just because you can see it better on the screen. Under fishing trips, you scroll down, it's previous trip photos. Under the info tab, it's also just previous trip photos. Click that page, and it brings you to previous trip photos. And you can click what trip you were on. Say you took a 39-hour trip with us, and let's say you were on the August 26th 39-hour, or let's say you were on the June 26th 39-hour. You just pick whatever date trip you were on, and you can change the view right here. And you can simply look at any of the photos and then choose to download any of the photos you want by hitting the download button. So it's a really, really cool option to download any of the photos that you saw. And you can even pop it out and make it bigger if you want to see a bigger version of it as well. So now this is showing me my backside of my Dropbox, so I'm not going to show you that. But it's pretty cool. Yeah, you can click on the image too, but
and it's also mobile friendly.
And it's mobile friendly. Josh doesn't have his mic plugged in. He forgets, but I did hear him say
I'm sorry.
mobile friendly. Super cool. So that is a cool way you can get all your fishing photos after your trip. If you do a 5-hour half day, 10-hour all day, private charter, 39-hour, it doesn't matter. Now our process is captains and crews send us photos. We upload them to our computer systems, which automatically puts the files on our website. It's pretty cool how it works. So super happy and super excited about that, making it easier for you guys to get your photos. Let's see, what other questions do we have here? Can you explain the Regulars Club program? So the Regulars Club program is a loyalty program. It's not a discount club, and it's meant for people who go fishing super often as a way for them to go fishing even more often, more affordably. It's an individual membership. It's based on the calendar year. So if you signed up today, you'd only have like a 3-month membership because your membership would expire December 31st of this year. But we'll start 2023 Regulars Club signups are on December 1st. And December 1st, 2022, you could sign up for 2023's Regulars Club, and you'd have basically a 13-month membership. But it's only for the individual. So if Joe Schmo signs up as a regular, Joe Schmo is the one who gets the discounts and the benefits of being a regular. You can bring new guests. So if Joe has a friend named Sally and Sally's never been to Hubbard's Marina before, Joe could take Sally with him on their first trip at his discounted rate. But that's it. Once your friend has been with us before, or even if they previously have been with us before, they would not get your discount. So it's not a great option for people who are bringing all their friends down and want to get everybody a discount. It's not a group discount. It's an individual discount meant for people who are fishing 10, 15, 20 times a year to go fishing even more affordably. Or if you're fishing 8, 10, 12 times a year and you want to fish a little bit more, it makes it more affordable. Basically, you pay a little bit of money in advance and you kind of get a bigger discount on trips. You're pre-purchasing trips, essentially. It's a pretty cool club, has some pretty cool benefits. Plus, you get a free calendar each year, which Josh is getting ready to go to print with. And if you don't get the free calendar, we're going to sell it on our website. So earlier question about great fishing ideas or great Christmas ideas for the fisherman in your life or fisherwoman, check out our calendar. It's going to be dope. And we should have it. If it's going to print this week, we should have it by end of September, if not sooner. And it will coincide with our brand new website. Our new website launch will be October 1st. We'll have the calendars on there. So we're super excited. The next month here at Hubbard's Media will be a prolific one. So we're excited about that. Richard Fanzo, appreciate those 50 stars. Let's give away our 10-hour all-day trip for 2 guests. And then we will get into our final question of the night and wrap this show up before we get to our supporters after show. So let's see who won our 10-hour trip for 2 guests. Lucky winner is Jeannie Jenkins. Jeannie Jenkins, congratulations. You've won a 10-hour all-day trip for 2 guests, Jeannie Jenkins. So make sure you claim that. You got 5 minutes or less to claim it by texting us your full home address right there. We still got a 39-hour trip to give away, but let's answer our last free trip of the night, or answer our last question of the night before we get into our last free trip. What is the best setup for hogfish? So tackle suggestions, bait suggestions, all that good stuff is on our website. We're going to make it even easier to find with our new website setup, but definitely spinning rod and reel, like 4,000 to 5,000 series spinning reel, 20 to 30 pound braid, 30 pound fluorocarbon top shot, 3 to 4/0 hook, maybe 1 to 2 ounce egg sinker, 3 to 5 red beads between that egg sinker and hook. But go to our fishing tips and tricks page. There is a video there called Techniques on How to Catch Hogfish. Josh is showing you right here. If you go to hubbardsmarina.com, click fishing trips, scroll down to fishing video links, click fishing tips and tricks. We literally have countless videos here, very short, compact, on the best tips and tricks and techniques. And we're going to try to build this out a little bit more through our slower time of year and add some more to it. But there's a really cool video here. I think we passed it, or I passed it. Maybe I didn't pass it. No, it was in the earlier part. How to catch a hogfish and what rig to use. So it's the 5th video. It's like 14, 15 minutes, and Captain Frank literally goes through the ins and outs of what rigs to use, what tackle to use, and all that good stuff. So check it out there. Also, don't forget, if you're a supporter, thank you. Really appreciate you. The show is made possible by, of course, our good friends over there at Gator Jim's Tackle. The show is brought to you by Gator Jim's Tackle. Check them out, 3301 Pinellas Point Drive South in St. Pete. Stop by, tell them Hubbard's Marina sent you. But supporters as well, you make the world go round. I love our time in the supporters group. If you want to become a supporter tonight, you can anytime by clicking the supporters button at the top of our Facebook page, or check out the link Josh is dropping into the chat on YouTube and Facebook. You can become a supporter on Facebook. That gives you private access to the Supporters Club on Facebook. And once you have access to the group, you can just simply search it, Hubbard's Marina Supporters, and you'll have access to the supporters group. You get behind-the-scenes information, more connectivity, some more communication, and you get lots of advance notice on things, and we bounce things off you. You get free stuff occasionally. So the supporters group is well worth it. Plus, the supporters after show, after every live show, all for $4.99 a month. Just keep in mind, guys, I don't control the supporters group from the aspect that it's through Facebook. You pay Facebook, you handle all your credit card information with Facebook. It just automatically gives you access to the supporters group. Now, in the supporters group, we have moderation control over it, but that's about it. We don't really moderate anything in there. It's kind of a little bit more of a free-for-all, and it's a little bit more laid back and a lot of fun. So check out the supporters group. Become a supporter today. $4.99 a month. Best $4.99 you'll spend. Trust me. Guaranteed. And hopefully we'll see you all soon for another episode of our live stream show. We do these every Sunday night right here on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Trovo, and Twitch pages. Don't forget to check out Hubbard's Marina on TikTok, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, Facebook, the Nextdoor app, Fishbrain, YouTube TV, Waypoint TV, Trovo, Twitch, and the Fishbrain app. And don't forget to check in when you're at Hubbard's Marina on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. Check in at Hubbard's Marina when you post a photo on your Instagram story, on Facebook story, on Snapchat. Check in on the story at Hubbard's Marina. Even if you're in John's Pass doing something else, check in at Hubbard's Marina. The more you like, the more you comment, the more you check in. It's highly appreciated and helps us out a lot as a company. So show your Hubbard's Marina family some support and love. When you see our comments, when you see our posts, when you see our photos, like them. Even if you're not really spending a lot of time, if you're scrolling through while you're sitting on the toilet, or you're on break at work, or you should be working while at work, like the video for us, like the post for us, like the photo for us. Comment a little thumbs up, a smiley face. It doesn't matter what you comment. Every like, every comment really helps us reach more people. So please help us out with that. Don't forget to like the page, subscribe, all that good stuff. And, we'll see you September 13th, Tuesday night at Krabby's on the Pass at 7 p.m. for the Old Salts Fishing Conversation. Sunday, September 18th at Bass Pro Shops Tampa at 2 p.m. for our Bass Pro Fishing Conversation. We'll see you every Sunday right here, 8:30 p.m. for Off the Hook with Captain Hubbard. Don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy. Hopefully we'll see you out in the water. And with that, let's find out who won our 39-hour fishing trip. Then we're going to pop over and do our supporters after show, 9:55 p.m. So if you're a supporter, join us. You don't want to miss out. If you're not a supporter, you got about 10 minutes or so, 20 minutes or so to hop over and become a supporter. It takes 2 minutes. Super easy, super worth it. definitely become a supporter today. And let's see who won that 39 hour. Thanks for watching, y'all. Woohoo! It is a ladies' show tonight. Whitney Landsteiner, congratulations from southern Minnesota. The Great White North won the 39-hour trip tonight. Congratulations, Whitney. You got 5 minutes or less to claim it right here. Text us your full home address. Hopefully we'll see you all next week for another episode. Again, don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy. Thanks for watching, y'all.